Suns this weekend, Brad? Obviously injury depleted, but what are you expecting from them?
Yeah, they are a little bit injury depleted, obviously, with some really good players out. But I think clearly against St Kilda they were very good for large parts of the game. Against Collingwood as well, they were very good. So, I think it's a challenge for younger teams to be able to put consistent four-quarter performances together. But clearly their best is good. A lot of people might scoff at that, but we analyse it really closely, and the things that they do well are very dangerous. And so, we've got to make sure that we defend that well.
Obviously, you'll be happy for that Etihad roof. The last time you met with them, it was a cyclone, I think.
Yeah, it was. We're definitely not going to get those conditions again. So it's it makes for probably a more even game in terms of it's just a bit more played on its merits. I mean, when you're playing in a monsoon like we did, it was. There's an element of you quick kick it and it lands on someone's chest and those things. But to their credit, that day they were better than us, and they did deserve to win that game. So luck didn't play a huge part. They were better on balance, and they got a hold of us at times of the game as well. So, but I'm sure a lot of our players are looking forward to playing in good conditions.
Got some bad news with Hartung and Mason Wood. Can you give us the latest on those two?
Yeah, Billy's probably going to be a little bit longer than Mason at this stage. But again, we're a little bit reluctant to give definitive timeframes just because the nature of the injuries are that, in Billy's case it can take a little bit longer than first thought. But probably in Mason's case, we think that the news is better than we first suspected. When he first did the injury, we had fears that it would be a fairly long layoff, but the scan results are a lot more positive than that, and hopefully he'll start running very soon. So when he's running, we'll be able to be, I think, pretty definitive on the time frame.
And what's the week look like for Ben Jacobs and trying to pass tests and train and all that?
Yeah, it's very. He'll train today. It's a process that he's gone through the last couple of weeks, so he knows the process pretty well. And he'll train again today. And look, I mean, the news is fairly positive, but again, it's a sense of deja vu when I stand here, 3-4 days before the game, suspecting that he'll play, and then him not coming up. But all we can do is back our doctors in and just assure our players that we won't play them unless we're 100% certain that they're fit to play, and hopefully that gives our players a great sense of certainty that when they are past fit to play, they can just go out and compete as normal.
Have you got any update on Jared Waite's progress? Is he recovering all right?
Yeah, he's recovering all right, but again, he's probably the main one. This is, in his case, a calf is different to a lot of other injuries, particularly where he's strained his calf. So, we've tried to be as open as possible, but I mean, to say that we don't know is not exactly true, but to say we know with absolute certainty when he's going to be back is not true either. So now what we're going to do is back our sports science team in to get his calf as strong as we can possibly get it, and once he hits the strength numbers that we're looking for, then he'll start progressing into running and full training. And once he's at that stage of running and full training, then it's a lot easier for us to put a return to play date on it.
Do you think there'd be some chance this year? Obviously, he'd be an important player in finals. Do you think he'd be any chance?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's it's probably a shorter term horizon than a longer term. So, but again, with his age and injury history, you just want to be sure. But no, we're certainly expecting him back. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Does it have an impact at all? So if for next year, if he can score a contract, whether he can return or not?
To be honest, I haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, we're talking to our players, who are at that stage of their careers really regularly about, just focusing on the now. And, those players, Wadey, Scotty Thompson, they play better when they're just thinking about this week. So, at times you probably start to think, what about the future? But, we've all, even our footy club, we've just got to bring all our thinking back to the Gold Coast this week, and Wadey's just focusing on his rehab and getting back as soon as possible.
With Jacobs, Brad, did you ever pinpoint the original incident that caused the concussion?
We've got a number of them that we suspect played a part, but again, it's like we think we know, but we don't know with absolute certainty, and in essence it doesn't matter that much either, because we've clearly got all the significant knocks that he's copped over the course of the year, and we look at them all, but I mean the knock itself is less relevant than the symptoms that present.
How's he coping with that? That must be pretty frustrating for him?
Yeah, because he's such a fierce competitor too. He wants to get out there. So, but again, the role of doctors and football clubs, in the modern era, is sometimes to protect players from themselves. And if we just said, Ben, it's up to you whether you play, he would have played by now. But we've got to hold him back and make sure that we're really confident that he's right.
Given how effective he's been this year, Brad, do you consider using another player in that sort of lockdown role?
Yeah, we just can't, clone Ben Jacobs, unfortunately. And yeah, we've looked at other players in certainly in that option. I mean, Zach Merritt got away from us in parts of the game. We had lengthy discussions pre-game, but also during the game about what we do about that. But it's a big decision to make if you get it wrong. The tag is a really effective part of your game if it works, but if it doesn't work, it can be a bit of a double whammy in that one, you don't stop the opposition player, and you stop a bit of drive yourself.
Who do you see as, if Ben can't play, who do you see as good in that role for you guys?
Oh, multitude of players. Yeah, there's not one that sort of that is designated as that role player. And again, if we take a player from another position, we may be robbing Peter to pay Paul.
There wasn't a lot of expectation on you guys heading into the season. Does that give you sort of less pressure in the back end?
No, we don't. We didn't take much notice then, and we don't take much notice now. I mean, we North Melbourne's a fiercely competitive football club. It always has been. It's been that way for generations, and that's the legacy that we've inherited, and that's the way we want to play our footy. So we'll just fight and bite and scratch to win every game we play.
Do you look far ahead with your draw for the finals, looking at making the 8?
No. I get asked about it every week, but no.
Just on your injury list, I think there's at least 4 guys who've gone down with hammies. Is that something you've looked at as a broader issue?
No, not as an issue. I mean, we analyse it really closely always. The injuries have been slightly different in each case, and if you look across the course of this year, our medical staff have done an exceptional job with providing the coaches full availability to pick from. So we had a couple over the last few weeks, but we don't think there's a clear pattern there. We think they're all isolated cases. But that being said, we don't just sweep it under the carpet. We've had really extensive meetings and thorough analysis to make sure that we're at we get to the root cause of every injury.
The forward line mix, Brad, with Mason going out, do you need to bring another tall in?
Yeah, we're certainly considering it, and particularly given the conditions and playing under the roof means that talls can potentially have more impact, and there are a number of players who have been playing great footy. Our key position stocks are pretty good across our list. Mackay and Durden and Larkey have been playing great footy at VFL level and have only been really kept out of the AFL side by the form of Brown and Tarrant and co. So yeah, there are options there for us, and we've just got to try and assess the best mix.
How much of an impact are the injuries having, do you think? Like, obviously, key personnel out, it hurts.
Yeah, but we're probably doing better than most. We're certainly not going to cry over spilt milk. We've got some players out, but every team in the competition, maybe bar one or two, have got excuses if they wanted to use them, and we certainly don't want to put ourselves in that bracket.
How's Mason reacted to the latest setback, Brad? I mean, obviously a better result than you were hoping for, but he has had a pretty wretched run with injury over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he was despondent post game. I mean, we had a conversation about it, and he was dejected, and we need to keep him up. But the news that he's had is he's bounced back pretty quickly. So yeah, he's positive, but we know what he's capable of. It's just like a lot of players. He just needs that continuity, and unfortunately we've been saying that for 2 or 3 years now. So hopefully we can get this right, and he can string a couple of years of really good footy together. Frustrating
for you as a coaching staff as well, that knowing his potential, that he can't, as you say, get that consistent run.
Yeah, it definitely is. But again, we've got to strike the balance between care and empathy for players, and focusing on what we've got available, which I'm a senior coach with the responsibility of getting our players to perform and get the 4 points this week. So clearly only 22 players can help us with that. So that's where my focus needs to sharpen up towards the end of the week, and use the start of the week to really make sure I get around the players who are feeling pretty despondent with injury.
Any players pressing for a debut this week or coming weeks?
Yeah, there are a few. A lot of the draftees from last year are playing pretty good footy, but again, there'll been a couple of guys named in our squad over the last few weeks, and there have been some guys who have been pushing their name up. But and it's hard because there are some guys who do deserve selection, but their position just isn't available. So, yeah, we may restructure things a little bit, but again, we're undecided on that right at the moment. We'll train today and maybe have a look at a couple of things and then make a decision post-training.